let's move to our open items. First, to item 9F1. Who will be presenting that?
Judge, I'm going to do that one.
Okay.
Consider and approve update to the budget policy authorizing county commissioner departments to open, close, and modify department positions as needed following assessment by the budget office. Departments will not exceed total authorized budget for current year.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion? I've got a couple of things I would like to mention about this as it relates to our discussion. Because I thought a lot about this, and I thought about where we were in relationship to how we make decisions periodically on how things affect the total budget. As I thought about this, near as I can tell, commissioners, at least since I've been here and I suspect before, that we've never turned down the commissioner as it related to any requests that are those things that are to be addressed in this issue. So I guess my question is, why would we do this? What do we have, what have we not proven, or how have we proven that we can work together and get things done without a fundamental change in operating the way we have historically operated? Because to me, there's a couple issues here. The first issue to me is that if we do this usurps the constitutional authority that we have as a commissioner's court. And Article 5, Section 18 has it right here in this Constitution. And we have the authority to do the people's business. We have the authority to exercise, and I quote, powers and jurisdiction over all county business. This particular principle here would undermine the constitutionality of that, especially the spirit of the Constitution. Furthermore, at any given time, it would yield to one person with the approval of our budget office a non-elected position, albeit you do an awesome job, we love you, and we appreciate all your contributions, that you've got one person in the budget office who will, go ahead.
That's not necessarily true. So when we do the assessment by the budget office, the position, if it's not already on the class code table, does require HR. So HR has to approve the PDQ.
Okay, so now we have two unelected officials
that
are making a decision, or that will bring to the commissioners. Let me finish, because I understand your position. I do, and you know I don't want to show you any disrespect, okay? Because we love what you do and you make unbelievable contribution. But if you think about this, we have jurisdiction over all county business, and essentially to two people who are non-elected officials. We report as commissioners and as the court as a whole to all the members of the court. But not only that, in doing this, it really does eliminate transparency. And as I thought about that, because I thought, well, does it really? Because we can bring this to the court and we can talk about these things. So I went to our website and I looked up our transparency section on our county website. And this is what it says. It says, openness, accountability, and honesty define government transparency. In a free society, transparency is government's obligation to share information with citizens. It is at the heart of how citizens hold their public officials accountable. You say, but we will be sharing that. Well, okay, listen to the second part. Governments exist to serve the people. Information on how officials conduct the public business and spend taxpayers' money must be readily available and easily understood. This transparency allows good and just governance. This was put in place long before I got here. It was put in by the Commissioner's Court. And so, to me, it usurps our constitutional authority, and it takes away a right that the people have to see in the open exactly where the money is spent And this includes opening, closing, and modifying issues as it relates to positions. So I have to tell you, that's my position, and I will vote against this item. And I just want to go on record with that. Now we have a motion on the floor. Is there any other discussion?
Can I just give an explanation as to how this kind of came about and everything? Okay.
Sure.
So
Great.
back in February, Commissioner Metz requested that we come up with some verbiage on opening, closing operator positions. Well, after several court members approached me, there was a request that not necessarily that it should affect just operators, because not all the four commissioners, you guys don't have just operators. You have other positions in your, and so this gives you the opportunity to fix the recycle positions that you have, to fix your nature center positions that you have, to fix your community center positions that you have, any of those positions that are outside of your operator positions, as long as you have the money in your budget to do so. So you still have to go through, you can't, request a bunch of positions that you can't cover in your budget. It does require, the budget office, what we'll be looking for is, that the pay you guys are wanting to do falls in the pay grade scale, so minimum, maximum in that range. We're going to look at civil service requirements with HR to see if the position is covered by civil service, and, if we think we should bring that to court based on that it is covered by civil service. So just because we're saying, yes, you can do this, doesn't necessarily mean the budget office and HR is going to sign off on it automatically. There may be some instances where it still comes to Commissioner's Court.
Right.
And it does take a PCR.
And it does take a PCR, correct. And so,
Like it always has.
so the Commissioner's Court
That
would
would be
able to
Amanda
have an
Carter
issue with something,
speaking.
Be able to pull the PCR into open, discuss it in open, all of that approach. So,
Right.
and we do plan on, just like we have this year, we've updated the salary schedule 3 or 4 times. We plan on doing that too, so that the public does have the knowledge of what the positions exist, what the salaries are, all of that case. So I do feel like we're trying to make it more efficient while also being transparent by putting things on the web that previously weren't always put on the web. And so we are trying to build that up.
And I can appreciate that, Amanda, and I appreciate your efforts, and I do appreciate your explanation. And I think it's a good explanation for what it's trying to do. I think, however, that all we're talking about here is a period of time. That we just don't want to take the time that it's going to take to bring this to the court, make it an open item, either whether it's through consent to be open or whatever, and it takes away from the spirit of transparency that we're trying to build into the court. And historically, what we maintained in this area, because of how we have done it in the past. And remember, I know that there is a feeling we want to move this forward because we want to be more efficient. We are in kind of an entrepreneurial mindset to it, which I really appreciate given my business background. But this is not a business. This is a court. And the authority of the court is expressly given to us by the Texas Constitution to have an impact on all matters having to do with the business of this county. And I think if we do this, we're going to take away that constitutional right. That's just my feeling. And
just to confirm, we did approach the county attorney's office for their legal opinion on that, and they don't set policy, but they said there was nothing illegal about what we were trying to do. As far as Amy can chime in on that.
And honestly, I don't think there is anything illegal. I'm not saying that it's illegal, but it doesn't go along with the spirit of what our Constitution is.
That would be
It's a
Amy
group of
sitting
people who
next
wanna see
to
what's going on, especially in light of
Amanda
the things that
Carter.
have happened in the past.
I think
So that's my feeling, and that's what I'm going to go with. So we can have more discussion, but I'm done. Go ahead.
My concern is,
If we reserve our comments for after court. Thank you.
will we be able to move somebody from not covered under civil service to being civil service? My question to that is, you got somebody leaving office, takes a bunch of people or a couple of people that are not covered and puts them under civil service. That's my position.
So that was one of my major concerns. I'll be honest with you. I expressed that concern with county attorney's office. And what we do feel like is just because you guys want it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. If we feel the budget office, HR, if we feel like it's not appropriate or that you might be trying to do something that we, in our interest, we may bring it to Commissioner's Court anyways, just so you guys can hash it out in front of everybody.
And the
We don't-
PCR
we-
still goes through court.
And the PCR still goes through court. We're not trying to, give you guys any more power. We're not trying to take any of that away from you. What we're trying, either or, what we're trying to do is make your processes more efficient. You guys, there's been multiple times this year that you guys have had people switch between the commissioner's offices. Because
So
one
what
commissioner
is a
might need to do little bit
PCR?
more. And so we're trying to fix some of that. If you have somebody that leaves for $2 more an hour, and you can afford to do the $2 more an hour, why wouldn't you want to keep that instead of having to train a new employee? So that's kind of where
Here's
the
the
budget.
deal, if I may. But here's the deal: when we talk about this as a group, when we are open as a group, representing the people of all of our constituents, when we talk about it in that way, we come to some decisions. We change our minds. We work through this stuff. What this will become is we've made the change, and depending upon how much pressure a particular commissioner will put on whatever offices is associated with, all of a sudden you will have things appearing on there that will come up on consent that we may read, we may not read, that people won't see it. And the fact of the matter is all of a sudden we've gone behind closed doors again. And I'm out on that deal. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing here. And we have a process in place that I think that it works. It's been working. We've been getting things done. But I can't help but think this may be motivated by some other things, of which I'm not going to get into. But if it is, it would be to me a travesty that we're going to put a policy in place because we didn't get our way on a particular issue or other issue. I'm out on that deal too. We represent the people of this county. We represent the people of this county. We don't represent us. We don't represent each other here, guys.
Can we just go ahead and vote now?
No.
Oh, I think we can.
Well, no, we can't. And I have authority over this court, and I'm in the middle of a conversation.
Your magnanimous elocution.
You do not have the authority to interrupt me. It's rude.
No, I think it's rude.
You're
to
rude.
Continue going
No, it's
on
rude.
and on. Let's vote.
That's Commissioner
So I believe
Nowak.
that this is what
He
we
would
do.
like to run the business of the
I'm
county.
just going to ask the court to vote against this. And if you do, I'm going to love everybody anyway, and we'll get along, we'll work together. But the fact of the matter is, I think there are solid reasons why you shouldn't. That being said, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, who we have? Commissioner Metter, you're in favor? I'm sorry, I didn't hear. So let's make sure. Let's do a roll call, though. Commissioner Metter? Charlie?
Aye.
I had a comment before.
Okay. Okay.
My name was brought up, and I'd like to clarify something. This is the reason I brought this up originally.
That's Mr.
I
Metz
noticed that
speaking
we
now.
operated in your offices, but in precinct 4 we had operators 1, operator 2s, and operator 3s. And the reason I needed this before, I had open positions, let's say at an operator 3. I didn't need an operator 3, I needed an operator 1. And as a new commissioner coming in, I needed to fill those operator 1 positions because
If it would be great if we had
last
job
year,
descriptions
nothing was done.
for all of
And
these
precinct, I was
operators.
behind schedule and still behind schedule and doing everything in my power by starting a 6 crew to try to catch up. And it put me in a bad position or in a difficult position to wait 3 weeks to hire an operator, bring it forward and hire an operator 1. That's all I was trying to do. Never entered my mind of not being transparent in any way, form, or fashion.
It was,
Just
if you
simply
recall, it
trying
was
to
very
fill a
open. We
position.
all voted in favor of it.
Another comment I'd like to make.
But we're
You guys know, a lot of times we lose a guy, say on the late hand crew, or maybe 2. Well, to wait 3 weeks to fill that position puts a lot of stress on the other guys working that
correct.
crew. And it's hot and it's hard, and the quicker you can get another guy there to fill in on that crew, the better it is for everybody involved. And I think it's them.
I think that's Commissioner Riley speaking.
You got to go. Big deal.
And this, if I may, this is for Commissioner Department only, correct? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Not any other departments?
No, basically like your 613, 612, 614, all those departments that are underneath you. You know, some commissioners have a few more cost centers than others, but it would affect all the cost centers that the commissioner is directly involved.
I'm curious as we're talking.
Affect our budget.
Okay.
Or the next year's budget, because of the way our budgets are set.
But as long as we're keeping the discussion going here in the middle of the vote, I'm curious. Who was the one that really put this on the agenda? Was this you, Amanda? Who was it? Who put it
No,
on
I
the agenda?
asked for it.
No,
Where did it really
Commissioner
come-
Nowak asked me for it, but I will say Commissioner Nowak's not necessarily the. There's other court members that have expressed concerns within my tenure here of some issues that